Miss Gray articulates her profound desire for Mr. Pearson to formally recognize baby Kamaya as his child, advocating for her equitable treatment alongside their older children. This plea underscores the significant emotional ramifications of his denial, which reverberates throughout the familial landscape. In response, Mr. Pearson voices his skepticism regarding Kamaya's paternity, insinuating infidelity that potentially involves a family member. Such an assertion not only complicates existing familial relationships, but also raises critical concerns about the pillars of trust and loyalty that bind them. The dialogue transitions to the pressing need for a DNA test to definitively address the paternity claims. Both parties converge on the necessity of scientific evidence as an impartial arbiter to clarify the biological father of the child, reinforcing the notion that objective measures can provide clarity in emotionally charged disputes. As the conversation unfolds, the theme of credibility emerges. One party's sense of having been misled breeds significant doubts regarding the truthfulness of the other. This erosion of transparency threatens to dismantle the foundations of trust, critical to sustaining healthy relationships. Complications within relationship dynamics often arise, particularly when elements of revenge and unresolved grievances influence present interactions. These emotional undercurrents can precipitate destructive behaviors, ultimately damaging the fabric of relationships. The narrative further emphasizes the necessity of maturity in navigating familial relationships, particularly when children's welfare is at stake. Young parents are impelled to prioritize the emotional and physical well-being of their children above personal conflicts that may otherwise cloud their judgment. Miss Fuller candidly admits to engaging in a sexual relationship with another man during the conception period, thereby casting substantial doubt on the paternity of Brandon Jr. This candid admission significantly complicates the dynamics between the involved parties, evoking feelings of betrayal and uncertainty. Mr. Robinson reflects on the pivotal moment when he recognized discrepancies, noting physical resemblances between Brandon Jr. and another individual. This realization catalyzed a tumultuous mix of guilt and confusion, further complicating his emotional landscape. Against this backdrop, the couple's financial difficulties and living conditions exacerbate their relational tensions. The context of their struggles amplifies Mr. Robinson's emotional distress, particularly in light of the potential loss of his son, which looms large in his consciousness. The situation escalates into a domestic disturbance, highlighting how deeply personal conflicts can draw in external parties, including neighbors and law enforcement. This escalation reflects the intense emotions that characterize tumultuous relationships, which can spiral out of control. As the narrative progresses, it sheds light on the complexities of a long-standing, intermittent relationship culminating in an unexpected pregnancy despite previous beliefs surrounding infertility. This unexpected development adds an intricate layer of complexity to the already fraught family dynamic. The court proceedings illuminate the emotional ramifications of potential paternity disputes for all parties involved, reinforcing the necessity of understanding and intuitive communication as pivotal components of healthy relational frameworks. Family members of the alleged father voice their skepticism regarding the mother's commitment to establishing paternity. They accentuate the urgency of conducting a DNA test, primarily due to health-related concerns, indicating the intertwined nature of familial and medical responsibilities. On a more personal note, the woman attributes her childhood instability and the absence of a father figure to her mother, an assertion that has fostered ongoing emotional struggles. This connection elucidates the profound impact of familial roles on individual psychological well-being. Driven by her emotional turmoil, the woman reaches out to her father through written messages, seeking closure and a semblance of understanding. This pursuit against the backdrop of uncertainty starkly illustrates her profound sense of loss and longing for connection. The testimonies reveal the pervasive confusion and miscommunication surrounding paternity issues, particularly during pivotal life events such as childbirth. This narrative backdrop adds layers of emotional complexity to an already intricate situation. It becomes evident that the emotional weight of familial connections weighs heavily on individuals as they navigate their desires to connect with their heritage and unearth their identities. This quest speaks to the depth of emotion that infuses legal proceedings regarding paternity. The discussion underscores the critical role of DNA testing in resolving disputes concerning paternity, illustrating the application of scientific methodologies in establishing familial bonds, particularly in scenarios where one parent's presence is absent. The significance of genetic resemblance emerges as a pivotal factor in paternity-related doubts, often resulting in heightened emotional distress for all involved parties. Such complexities underline the intricate interplay of genetics and relationships. As the emotional burden of paternity disputes takes center stage, the impact on maternal relationships is palpable, particularly as highlighted by the mother's struggles to forge a connection with her daughter. The origins of such conflicts can often be traced back to previous infidelities. Legal confrontations surrounding paternity frequently reveal underlying issues of trust and loyalty, thus challenging the foundational notions of love and commitment between partners. This complexity adds a layer of difficulty to resolving relational conflicts. In this context, mistrust and suspicion have proliferated due to allegations of infidelity, which only serve to complicate emotional connections and responsibilities associated with parenting. The lie detector results, revealing deception on Miss Vault's part concerning her fidelity, further compound the questions surrounding the integrity of their relationship. Such revelations can act as catalysts for deeper relational discord. Ultimately, the court affirms Mr. Lindsay's paternity of Shelby, potentially paving the way for resolution within their relationship if the fragile trust can be painstakingly rebuilt. The pressures of parenting are exacerbated in the face of paternity doubts, significantly affecting the emotional well-being of both parents. This circumstance mandates that they confront these difficult issues collaboratively for the sake of their child. In light of these challenges, counseling and supportive resources can prove invaluable for couples grappling with trust deficits. By utilizing these tools, they can work toward restoring the essential foundations that sustain healthy relationships. Accusations of infidelity further complicate the landscape, creating an environment rife with mistrust and emotional upheaval. Hence, maintaining open lines of communication regarding past relationships becomes critical for fostering positive progress. Among these discussions, significant attention is directed at the mother's questionable motives related to paternity, evoking concerns about honesty and the intentions underlying their relationship dynamics. Such scrutiny aligns with the broader complexities inherent in parental responsibilities. The pivotal role of DNA testing is reiterated as a necessary means to resolve paternity disputes, elucidating the father's obligations and responsibilities towards Dawson. Establishing certainty in these matters assumes critical importance for both involved parents. Emotional reactions become palpable as the biological relationship is confirmed, illuminating the inherent challenges associated with co-parenting. This scenario underscores the necessity for mutual commitment to ensure the well-being of Dawson. Miss Beckley articulates her frustration regarding Mr. Allen's lack of engagement in their daughter's life, noting he has seen her only once since birth. This situation reflects her perception of neglect in his parental obligations. In response, Mr. Allen raises questions concerning the validity of his paternity, referencing uncertainties about the timing of conception alongside the dynamics of their relationship during that period. He insists upon a DNA test for verification. The court proceedings underscore the emotional ramifications of the conflict between the parents on their child, accentuating the necessity for enhanced communication and effective co-parenting strategies. The judge's observations pinpoint the dysfunction permeating their relationship. In summation, the speaker acknowledges the myriad challenges associated with adequately providing for children, particularly in the face of financial struggles. They express a heartfelt reliance on family support during these trying times. The dialogues conclude with a focus on the importance of being a responsible father to existing children, rather than expanding the family unit further. This perspective advocates for prioritizing quality parenting over a mere increase in offspring. Ultimately, the conversation encapsulates the emotional turmoil and conflicts inherent in parental relationships, emphasizing the urgent need for mature resolutions that prioritize the well-being of the children who are inevitably affected.